Hello, 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 everyone. Let's see who's going to join us now that we have actually made it live. Thanks to Spectrum, we are up and running. I had my doubts, but here we are. So I'm pretty excited because we lost our power this afternoon, and then we lost our internet to go with it. And then when the power came on, the internet did not. And they were saying we weren't going to get it back until 11 p.m. So I was not too hopeful, but here we are, and I am excited. Going to find us here on our iPad and get this shared out. There we are. We need groups, and we want our friends in the VIP and our team. Okay, there we are. We are out there. Now we can see who's going to come hang out with us. Oh, goodness. All righty. All right, let's go through our housekeeping real quick. Bonus days. We are in the final days of bonus days. Tomorrow is your last day to earn $5 coupons for every $50 that you spend. And then starting Tuesday, you'll be able to redeem those coupon codes. So if you have any, make sure you have them saved and you can use them on Tuesday and the rest of the month. So don't lose those codes. So you have until the 28th to use them starting Tuesday. Paper Pumpkin, of course, we are in the February subscription period. You have until February 10th to get in on this. It is a Easter spring themed kit. It says craft whimsical handmade cards that celebrate Easter and sweet spring days. And I think we're all getting a little antsy for spring. I know February 18th is Ash Wednesday, so we do start the Lenten season. So before you know it, Easter will be here in April. So lots of good things coming if we can just get through this frigid weather and all the snow. Hey, Kay, so glad to see you. Yes, I am too. I was having very significant doubts about making it. I was just saying our power went out this afternoon with the wind, and that took our internet. Well, when the power came on, we still didn't have internet, and they were saying 11 p.m. before restoration. So I was pleasantly surprised when it came on at 6:45. Why not? Wait till the very last second, but here we are. We made it. So anyhow, back to the Paper Pumpkin. It does coordinate with the Beautiful Blooms dies add-on. Those are currently still available. Those are a Wall Supplies last item. And those dies do coordinate with the entire quarters of Paper Pumpkin. Hey, sis. Glad you could make it. Yeah, thank goodness for the wood stove to keep warm, because with that power being out for a couple hours, it could have gotten quite chilly in here, but we were very, very fortunate. Anyway, Paper Pumpkin, if you want in, it is good till February 10th to get in on the February kit. Then we have the Fabulous Sayings. This is our product of the month. You have just until I think Tuesday, the new product of the month will post, which you can get for $5. If there's any of these available still, they will also be available for the $5. So you'll be able to choose between the current and the past, because they are while supplies last. So that's how they're doing it. And right now, last I looked, the Fabulous Sayings was still available. So if you don't particularly care for the product of the month for February, this is still available. You'd be able to get this for the $5. Oh, really, Kay? Oh, that's good for you. That's awesome, because we are still in the deep freeze. They do say we are going to climb out of it over the next few days, but I'm getting to that point where believe it when I see it kind of. It's been miserable. It snows every day. It's frigid. It's crazy. All right, on to the good stuff. We are in our mini catalog today. I pulled this out and we are playing with the Cute as a Bug Sweet Collection. The stamp set is called Sweet Bugs, and it is really a sweet set. It's too cute for words. I really enjoyed playing with this today, so I am going to show you some really cute cards. This sweet, you get the stamp set with the coordinating dies. You get the cute little ladybug embellishments here. They're called Ladybug Garden Epoxy Shapes. You get the little clear circles as well as the ladybugs in that. And then this really pretty ribbon, which is called Cute as a Bug. No, this is Designer Series paper. Where is the ribbon? Oh, the Old Olive 3/8" specialty Rick Rack. And that's exactly what it looks like. It looks like the Rick Rack you would use if you were making something in your sewing room. Oh, -19 was a stand. Oh, gosh. We haven't been that. Well, our wind chills have been down below zero, like 30 below zero, but our actual temperatures have been around like -9, I think was our cold. The other day when I left for work, it was -9, but it's our wind chills that are ridiculously cold. Good. Hopefully we all start warming up. We're all going to start thinking spring, and that's just going to magically make things warm for us, right? And then, of course, there's this adorable paper, the Designer Series paper, which is 12 by 12. And again, like I said, been having fun with the set. I will show you the cards we are going to make tonight. If I can dig them out of my little bucket I have here. This afternoon, because I had no power, I had to move and actually do my designs over here at this table, which normally I'm at my other table when I'm actually designing, because that's where all of my product is, my paper, my inks, and all of that is over there. So it makes it easy for designing. I can pick and pull whatever I need. Well, because I had no power, I had better natural light on this side. Not that you can tell at night when I'm here because it's dark, and my lighting is terrible over here. But for natural light during the day, this is like the ideal spot. I still was able to see to create. So while I had no power, I had to cart everything over here. So everything's in a bucket, and I'm a big mess. Needless to say. But card number 1, we have our Hello Friend. And look at our cute little ladybug. He came directly from our Designer Series paper. Cut him out. Love when Stampin' Up! Does that for us. Then we have here our cute little hello card. Look at that. We've got our little picnic plaid and our little scene. And then we have our little inchworm and our little beetle that we have there. And then I've put around our little ladybugs. No, I'm sure not the heat bill. Oof. That's what I do love having our wood stove. It does help offset a lot of that. And then we have Spreading Joy. So we have our little scenery from our Designer Series paper. And then we cut out our little ants, our little lily of the valley. And then I have our little bee watering our garden here. So cute, this set. I absolutely gotta say, I do love it. All right. So again, it is the Sweet Bugs. And we have all kinds of little images here. We have mushrooms. We have some flowers. The flowers here. And then in the dies, there's lots of extra. You have these other mushrooms here. More flowers and stems. And then, of course, we have all the dies that cut out the images. And again, you can cut a lot of these images out from our Designer Series paper, like I did this little ladybug. All right, so let's get started. The other thing I wanted to introduce tonight is I did get my pre-order, the new Stampin' Up! stamp positioner. So here's our stamp positioner. As you recall, we used to have our Stamparatus, but due to another company claiming copyright infringement and all kinds of noises being made, even though ours was completely different, Stampin' Up, rather than deal with the legal stuff surrounding it, they discontinued our Stamparatus. So in the meantime, they have come up with a brand new stamp positioning tool. It does work very well. I do like it. If you have a Stamparatus, however, I recommend that you continue to use your Stamparatus. As much as I do like this, I think you'll like your Stamparatus more. If you don't have a Stamparatus, if you missed out on that opportunity, this is definitely something that you would want to get into your craft stash, because it does make stamping, especially if you have to stamp over and positioning things, this does make things very easy. It does come with everything you need. The only thing I purchased extra is the grid paper here. This grid paper is extra, and it has these little pins for you to put your grid paper down on. Along the top, you do have a ruler. It has metric at the top, and underneath here is your imperial, which you now have from the grid paper. You can see the imperial. Along this edge, there's also a right. You have metric, and then just below it is the imperial. So you have all of your measurements. It does come with these earth magnets. They're pretty strong. They're light, but they are strong. If they do come together, they easily pull apart. They have these little tabs. Then you have this here positioning piece, and the large actually clicks onto these little nubs here on the edge, and then you can do your stamping. This presses down. It has these little feet that press down, so you get a nice contact. It also comes with, what did I do with it? This smaller piece here, and now this goes and it hooks on to these larger posts, and again it has the retractable, or not retractable, but the little press on feet here, so they go down when you want to actually stamp something. These are perfect for like doing sentiments, and I am going to show you this one on our first card. It worked pretty good. So I'm going to set this aside for just a minute while we get our card going. It also, just so you know, it does have a non-slip base there. Right now, the only way to get this, starting, I believe it's Tuesday, is to join as a demonstrator with Stampin' Up. And you'll get that added to your starter kit in addition to $125 in product of your choice. You'll get all of your business supplies, and they will add this stamp positioner into your kit. I believe most likely in our next catalog, we will see this return as something that you'll be able to purchase. But right now it is an exclusive if you join. All right. Let's get started. All right, so I'm starting with my first card here. I have my card base. It's a thick basic white, and it is 8.5 by 5.5, and it's scored at 4 1/4. My foam folder. We're going to fold on that score line, and we're going to press that out. Next, I do have my designer paper, and that comes from the pack of paper. I didn't show that to you. Again, this is called The Cute as a Bug. It is 12 by 12. 2 sheets of which were panel pieces, and I have those all cut apart because I've been using them on the next 2 cards. I used these panel pieces, but you cut them down. Some are 3 by 4. The rest are 4 by 6. And there's some really cute patterns here. I cut both sheets down, so I can't show it to you as full 12 by 12, but I just think they're adorable. And then, of course, we have this one here that has our berries and bees. And then this is the side that we're using on this card. Then we have this one. This is where I took my little ladybug. Backside has this little floral pattern. There's a little ladybug I cut out. Oh, I don't think you can see it. Ooh. There it is. There on the corner. And then we have this one here where there's snails and ladybugs, butterflies, bees. Just really adorable. Kind of has a cartoon kid theme going on. And then I love this petal pink, like paint splotches. Here's another one with our little bugs and butterflies. Love this one. And then, of course, we have another like quilt pattern. And again, we have the berries. Then we have our mushrooms and wood stumps. And my favorite, the picnic plaid. Oh, no worries, Miss Sue. Glad you could make it. So that is the fun of the Cute as a Bug paper. All right. So I did cut my designer series paper 4 by 5 1/4. And then I used my trimmer and I just put it on as at an angle, and I chopped off the bottom. Again, I didn't use any special measurement. I just knew I wanted it to be wider on the right, narrower on the left, and I just put it in as on the angle, and I cut with my trimmer. Next, we're going to bring in our Rick Rack ribbon, and just want to make sure I have enough to go around to the back. And we need our scissors, and I'm just gonna cut. And then I'm gonna grab a couple of glue dots, and let's just cut that. All right, so I'm gonna grab a glue dot for this end, and we'll do that after. All right, so now I just want, let me make sure you can see what I'm doing. I just flip this over, and I just want a little bit of that scallop to hang over, because that's what's going to kind of hide our seam. And press that glue dot down. There we go. And then I have one more glue dot here. Press that into the ribbon. And now pull that taut. And that goes down like so. Now, need our adhesive. And now this is going to attach to our card. Like so. Now, this is where I'm going to bring in our stamp positioner. So I'm going to set this down, and I am going to add my little magnet so everything stays in place. And now I got to find, hello, friend. And I want hello, friend, to go right there. Make sure it looks straight and where I want it. Now, we're going to pick that up, pressing that on. And now I know I've got this on the third post, third and fourth, because they are spaced. So this one and this one. So now I can go ahead and ink up my stamp. Oh, welcome from New Zealand. Glad you could join us, Sheila. We love having new friends join us. We're here every Sunday evening, 7 p.m. my time here in New York. Okay, so there's our hello, friend. So now we're going to go back here, set that down on those posts, and now we're just going to press down. Now, like every other stamp positioner, if this doesn't give me a good impression, because, which I got a great impression, I don't have to redo it, but if I did, nothing's going to be moved. I have the magnets holding it down. I could re-ink this, and it's going to go down. It's Monday afternoon there. Wow. I knew there was quite a time difference, but I didn't realize quite that much. But we could stamp that again and we would not miss a beat. It would come down in this perfect spot. It'd be perfect. So that's why stamp positioners are awesome for that purpose right there. You can restamp if you need to. Okay, so we're just going to clean that off. And we're going to set that aside because I will be using that stamp again. But without the positioner, we don't need to use that. All right, so now we're just going to set this aside. Oop. Oh, goodness gravy. There we go. All right, so now we have our card. And then I already went ahead and at least found my little ladybug that needs to be cut out. So now all I have to do is find the coordinating die. And it's right here. And we have our Post-it tape. So now we can just get everything lined up. Oop. think we're pretty good here. There we go. Now we're going to bring in our baby boss. Plates. Yes, Sue, as a demonstrator, if you love that tool and you don't have a Stamparatus, you can get the positioning tool as a demonstrator right now. After tomorrow, you will not be able to get it only by signing up as a demonstrator. So I did want to tell you that. But if you have a Stamparatus, you don't need to spend the money on that. Okay, here's our little ladybug. We're now going to add dimensionals to her. Okay, we are on the end of our, we need to, oh, we do have one. We just need one for her. And she's just going to sit there next to Hello Friend. And we're going to get our epoxy. I will say these epoxy ladybugs and dots do not come off very easily with your take a pick tool. So I went to the old trusty pokey tool here. And we're just going to take a little one here. And that can go here. And then a larger one will go here. And another little, we'll just go up here. And that completes card number 1. Again, very quick and easy. Okay. We are already cooking on to card number 2, which I think might be my favorite. I think. Maybe. This one, we have, again, a thick basic white card base, 8.5 by 5.5, and it is scored at 4 1/4. Need to grab that bone folder, and we are going to fold on that score line, and of course use that bone folder to burnish that nicely. And then from that 12 by 12 that had all the nice little panels, I cut out these 2 3 by 4s. So each of these are 3 inches by 4 inches. And I am just going to layer them onto our card front. So we're going to start with our, I like to call it the picnic plaid because it reminds me of a picnic blanket. And we're just going to place that. And then this one, it's dimensionals. This one we pop up. And I love when your card base background comes together so quickly and so easily with your designer series paper. Because this one here gives us a little scenery to work with. And then we're gonna cut that. Well, I don't know where that went, so we're just going to cut us another one for the middle here. We do not like saggy centers, so There we go. All right. So now we're going to peel all these backings off. Well, thank you, Sheila. Yes, we do, Sue. We do have amazing designers. They never cease to impress me. All right. So now we have our scene here with the tree stump. Let's see. I'm going to try to get this on here straight. There we go. So you're looking to try to get 3 equal borders on both pieces of designer series paper. I love these bugs too. I think they're the most adorable little things. All right. I did take the liberty of stamping ahead and coloring only because sometimes it's like watching paint dry when you're watching someone else color, and I really didn't want to torture you like that. So I did stamp them ahead. I have them all colored. Looks like I got a little, oh yeah, I did have some on my finger. Anyway, so those are done. I'm also going to take our stamp. What did I do? Over here for that. Oh, there it is. I knew I had a block. All right, so we got our hello friend. I only want the hello, but we're going to stamp hello friend again. And I have my memento black. And I want to stamp that right up here at the top because I don't want to do too much cutting. That should be good. Perfect. That's all I want right there. So we're going to cover that up so I don't stick my hand in it. And we will clean that off quick. Next, we are going to find our dies again. And we need this little guy. We need, are you? Nope. No, it is. Gotta be. Ah, there it is him. Okay, sometimes I have to look at him a little bit. All right, so we're gonna close that up. Oops, what do we do here? So now we're gonna get everybody lined up. So this little guy, and the colors I used, Old Olive for the leaf, and then the little inchworm, I did him in cloud cover, or yeah, cloud cover. And then our little beetle here, I did her little body in Poppy Parade, which I need to order a new Poppy Parade because they're starting to get pretty worn out. And then, of course, his little body is in cloud cover as well. So we're going to put that there. That looks pretty good. And this one's going to go like so. Then we're going to need a couple more pieces of our tape. If you don't have Post-it tape, Post-it notes do work. But if you want Post-it tape, Amazon is your friend. It is very inexpensive from Amazon. Okay, that looks pretty good. And then we're going to pick that down. All right, bring back the baby boss. And our plates. Our last card, you will have to watch me color. Well, I didn't color those in. I didn't stamp them or color them, so. But this one I did. All right, so we have here our little bugs that are super cute. There's our little inchworm. Here's our little beetle. Isn't he cute? And then I want that hello, but I don't need the fringe. So we're just going to go snip, snip, and then there's our hello. So we can now dispose of that into the trash and bring our card back. All right, so our little beetle, she needs dimensionals. And she's going to sit right on the stump. Just like so. She's just going to sit there all cute like. And then our little inchworm, he too gonna get dimensionals. Just kind of hanging out like so. And then, of course, hello has to have a little bit of lift here going on. And that goes right there like so. And then for this, we're using the cute little ladybugs. So we're going to bring those back with our pokey tool. And first little ladybug, she's going to start crawling up the stump. Second little ladybug is going to be on the leaf. And our third little ladybug, she's heading for the picnic. And that completes our second card. Thank you, Sheila. It is very simple. And I love when Stampin' Up, like I said, the designer series paper does most of the work. Add a few extra little elements and you've now elevated it to stinking cute. Okay, we are on to our last card, which I really like this one too. So I don't know. I'm having a hard time picking my favorite. I think number 2 was my favorite, but this one's right up there. Once again, paper doing 90% of the work. So we again have a Card base, 8.5 by 5.5, scored at 4 1/4. We're going to go ahead, fold down that score line and burnish it up like so. Then I have a piece of old olive that's cut 5 1/4 by 4. And then I took one of those panels, which was originally 4 inches by 6 inches, and I cut it down to 3 3/4 by 5 1/4. So we have a nice layering piece, but it does provide the backdrop for our scenery. So we're going to go ahead and adhere all this together. So maybe. So we're going to add our designer paper to our old olive panel here. And should have some nice. There we go. And then again, get adhesive. And this goes to the front of our card. Maybe we can get it on straight. There we go. So now we have our card base and we have our backdrop for our scene. Next, I have a scrap of basic white. And here we're going to stamp using our Memento black ink because, again, we're going to be coloring our little lily of the valley. I love lily of the valley. I will say, though, it did take over my garden. It does tend to be a little invasive, but I love to see it in the spring because it's one of those early spring arrivals. But it did take over everything. All right, so we have our lily of the valley. Then we need our little ants. Come on, little ants. So I have my little ants. They stamp all together. And then when you cut them out, they cut separately. But when you stamp them, they are all stamped in a nice little line. Make sure you get everything inked up really well. And let's put them over here. That looks good. There's our little ants. Next, we want our little bee. And she's going to fly over here. So there's our little bee. And we need our little watering can. And let's see, we'll put the watering can right there. Okay, so there's all of our little bugs and critters and such. And we're going to need let's pull all of our blends that we got here. Okay, I think we have everything. All right, so I'm going to start with my lily of the valley, and we're going to do our leaves first. which are Old Olive. So I'm going to start with my light. And I'm just going to flood a little color into them. I'm going to bring in the dark. Like so. And then we're going to bring that light back, and we're just going to feather that color out a little bit. Just like that. Then I'm going to take my light cloud cover, and using the bullet, I just want to just kind of come around the buds a little bit. Like so. Aren't they pretty? Easy, simple, but they look so pretty. And while I have my, might as well do our little can here. So I'm going to bring back my dark cloud cover, and I'm just going to go along the outline here in the handle, and then we're going to bring out the light and color that in. Like so. Next, I am going to use, I have here, it's the medium 500 and the light 900 of our blends. And I'm going to start with the dark, which is the medium 500. And we're just going to kind of just add a little color, bring the light, and just kind of blend it out. Just like that. So that's our first little ant. Second ant, we're going to do the exact same thing. Oops, we did forget his arm here. All right, so now ant number 2. The light and blend it out. And our final little ant. Oop. And we're just going to blend that out with our light. All right. Next, we'll just do our little trumpet. And I'm going to take the dark. I'm using the Daffodil Delight. Crushed Curry is the color that actually goes with the paper, Sanitar's paper, but we don't have Crushed Curry blend, so we're just using our Daffodil Delight, which is close enough. So there's our little trumpet and our flag. I forgot to do is our cloud cover. So I'm going to take the light, the dark. Just going to bring that from the hole and then just kind of feather it out. Okay, now we're going to do our little bee. And again, we're just doing him in our Daffodil Delight. So I'm going to start with the dark. And right around here, under. And then we're going to just color him in. Keeping his wings white. All right, now we're going to bring those dies back and find all the things that go. Okay, we need our little ants, our lily of the valley, and our little bee. And our little. All right, let's get busy here. So we need to line everything up. Like that. Let's get our little ants. I think this set is so adorable. And I'll be the first to tell you, I don't like real bugs. Not even kinda. But these little guys are adorable. But I despise bugs. My husband likes to remind me that I live in the wrong place for someone who hates bugs so much. But I remind him that I didn't choose our location. He did. If it were up to me, we'd be someplace sunny. Oh, sugar, I moved all that. Sunny and snowless. Sis and I talk about that all the time. We want to be snowbirds. And no one's listening to us. Trying to get that on there where I'm not going to keep knocking it off. Okay, and we need one more. Get our little watering can. There we go. Baby boss. Yes, we do. And nobody listens to us, though. Someday. All right. Run this through. And we now have, there's one little ant. Oop. 2 little ants. There's our third little ant. Our little bee. And here's our lily of the valley. And our little watering can. Get these out of the way. These out of the way. Bring our card back. And for our little lily of the valley, I need mini dimensionals here. Oof. Looks like I need to get some more minis. But put one there and one there. There. And our last one will go right here. So we have our little lily of the valley. I have each of the little flowers. And then right at the base of the stem. Get those backings off. And that I'm going to set right there. So it's a little off center towards the left. I hope. Those are pretty wide. We're going to have to cut. What did I do with that? There it is. All right, we're going to start with our little ants. And we need there's one. So he's marching. He's leading the march. Then we have our little guy with the flag. So he's going to get a little dimensional. Oh, you're so lucky, Sheila. Most of us that are on here tonight, not all, but most, live here in central New York, which is nowhere near New York City. We are like 4 hours plus north of New York City. And we get a lot of snow. I dare say we don't get snow in inches around here. We get it in feet. It's crazy. And then our final little ant goes here on the end. Then we have our little bee. She's so cute. She's going to get a dimensional. And she's going to be hovering over. Let's see, right about there. Looks good. Then we have our little watering can. So we just need a little dimensional for that. So this gonna get right up in there. So it looks like she's holding it. And she's watering our garden here. All right, now I have another scrap of basic white, and I also have one of the smaller dies from the textured notes dies. So it's these ones here with all the rectangles. It is the smallest of the rectangles. I mean, this one here is the thinnest, but it's also much longer than this one. So that was the smallest. And we're going to go ahead and find there it is. Spread Joy is our stamp. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to ink that up. Spread Joy. And again, using our Memento Black ink. The only ink pad I've used tonight. The rest was all Stampin' Blends. And we are going to stamp that. Spread Joy. Like so. Then we're going to take that die and get that all lined up. And I don't know what I did with all my, oh, they're still stuck to the dies. So we'll just chop off a couple more pieces. No big deal. Get that nice and straight. Like so. Baby Boss. Run that through straight. There's our Spread Joy. We'll put that there and hope I don't lose it. Need dimensionals. Oop. Again, try for straight. Then those epoxy shapes again. And this time I did the clear again. And that finishes our third card. All right, real quick recap. And I appreciate everybody hanging out. I did go over a little bit here. But we have our spread joy. And of course, we have the cute hello. And then hello, friend. So again, each and every one of these cards are quick, easy, and they're just adorable. Oh, yeah, the baby boss is definitely a wish list item if you don't have one. It's so handy. I mean, don't get me wrong, love my big boss. The big boss is awesome, but the baby boss is so handy. Yeah, might kind of lean towards number 2 myself, Kay, just because I love that plaid for one. The plaid sells it. Again, ladies, I appreciate each and every one of you for coming to hang out on this lovely, cold, windy Sunday evening. I appreciate each and every one of you. And as always, I wish you a wonderful rest of your evening and an even better week ahead. And God willing, I will be back next Sunday with some more fun. Oh, speaking of next Sunday is actually Super Bowl Sunday here in the US for those who are football fans. So you tell me, do you want me to come live next week or do you want to watch the Super Bowl uninterrupted? Because I know at 7:00 is usually kind of when things are getting started. So do we have a vote for go live on Super Bowl Sunday? Because it doesn't matter to me either way. But if you're going to watch the ball game, I'm good with that too. Any votes for go live or votes for watching the ball game? Nice, sis. All right, I'll post a little poll here on Facebook where you can come and let me know what your thoughts are. All right, guys, have a fabulous rest of your evening. You watch the Super Bowl over in New Zealand? That's awesome. Live? Okay, Kay. There's one. All right. Well, most likely I'll see you next week. All right, guys. Bye for now.